Every kitchen has it. The pile of leftovers nobody thinks twice about: banana peels, apple cores, wilted lettuce, coffee grounds. For most households, it all gets tossed in the trash. But here's the secret many gardeners have already unlocked. Those everyday scraps are not waste at all. They're the raw materials for one of the richest, most powerful fertilizers nature can create. With the help of a simple worm bin, your kitchen waste can be transformed into a black, crumbly treasure gardeners called black gold vermicompost. This isn't just compost. Worm-produced fertilizer is packed with nutrients, living microbes and plant-boosting compounds that can revive tired soil, accelerate plant growth and save you money year after year. For anyone who loves their garden, learning how to turn scraps into worm bin gold is a skill that pays for life. In nature, worms quietly recycle fallen leaves, rotting fruit and decaying matter, breaking it down into castings that enrich the soil. In a worm bin, that process speeds up dramatically. Red wigglers, the most popular composting worms, consume their weight in scraps each day and leave behind castings that are finer, more nutrient-dense and biologically active than any store-bought fertilizer. Worms love kitchen scraps for a few reasons. Fruits and vegetables are soft and break down quickly, which gives worms easy-to-digest food. The moisture inside scraps helps maintain the perfect humidity level in the bin, which is vital because worms breathe through their skin. And by offering a variety of scraps, think peels, cores, coffee grounds and trimmings, you provide a balanced diet that keeps the worm population strong and productive. Not every kitchen scrap belongs in a worm bin. Worms thrive on certain foods and honestly dislike others. Their favourites include fruit leftovers like melon rinds, banana peels and apple cores, along with vegetable trimmings such as lettuce, cucumber ends and carrot tops. Used coffee grounds and tea bags are excellent additions too, as they help worms grind food in their gizzards and introduce valuable organic matter. Even crushed eggshells, added sparingly, bring a source of calcium that helps neutralize acidity in the bin. But worms can't thrive on scraps alone. They also need browns or carbon-rich material to balance the nitrogen-heavy fruits and vegetables. Shredded cardboard, paper towels or plain newspaper are perfect. These keep the bin from becoming soggy while creating air pockets that support healthy decomposition. For best results, aim for a balance. Every handful of food scraps should be matched with an equal handful of shredded paper or cardboard. Avoid feeding them citrus peels, garlic, onions or spicy peppers, as these are too acidic or irritating. Skip meat, dairy and oily foods entirely since they rot, smell and attract pests. A worm bin fed the right way should never smell bad. At its healthiest, it smells like fresh, damp earth. The beauty of worm composting is, honestly, just how simple it is to start. All you really need is a plastic container with air holes for ventilation and drainage. Then, line the bottom with a moist bedding layer made of shredded newspaper, cardboard or coconut coir. The bedding, by the way, should feel like a wrung-out sponge, moist but not dripping. Once your bin is ready, you simply add your worms. Red wigglers, also known as Eisenia foetida, are the true champions of composting. They reproduce quickly, thrive in confined bins, and they consume scraps at a remarkable rate. To feed them, just bury your chopped kitchen scraps just below the surface of the bedding, rotating feeding spots so the worms can finish one area before moving to another. Every time you add food, make sure to cover it with fresh bedding. This balance keeps odours away, prevents flies, and ensures your worms always have both food and structure. Over time, the worms will transform everything, scraps, bedding, and even their own castings, into a nutrient-packed material that honestly looks and smells just like rich soil. Within 2 to 3 months, your bin will begin to fill with dark, crumbly compost. This is the black gold you've been waiting for. To harvest, simply push the finished vermicompost to one side of the bin and place fresh bedding and food on the other. Within a week or two, the worms will migrate to the new food source, leaving behind mostly worm-free compost. Sift out any large pieces of unprocessed food, then spread the finished vermicompost around your garden beds. Mix it into potting soil or use it to top-dress houseplants. Plants respond almost immediately with healthier growth, deeper colour and stronger resilience against stress. Beyond solid compost, worm castings can also be brewed into a liquid fertilizer known as vermicompost tea. This is a fast-acting tonic that delivers nutrients and microbes directly to plant roots and leaves. To make it, you simply add 1 cup of finished worm castings to a gallon of water. Stir well and let the mixture steep for about 24 hours. Then, strain the liquid through a cloth and use it straight away to water your plants or even as a foliar spray. The microbes are most active when the tea is fresh, so, try not to store it for too long. Gardeners who use worm tea regularly, well, they often notice stronger seedlings, increased yields, and fewer diseases in their crops. While worm composting is honestly quite easy, beginners do sometimes run into a few problems. The most common issue is overfeeding. Adding more scraps than the worms can handle, it creates odours and attracts fruit flies. The solution really is to add small amounts more frequently and only feed again once most of the previous scraps are gone. Another mistake is letting the bin get either too wet or too dry. If things get soggy, just add more shredded cardboard. If it feels dry, give it a light misting with water. Always aim for that classic wrung-out sponge texture. Temperature matters too. Worms thrive best between 55 and 77 degrees Fahrenheit. So keep your bins in a shaded outdoor spot, a garage or a basement, to protect them from temperature extremes. By paying attention to these simple adjustments, you'll keep your worm bin healthy and productive for years to come. What sets worm compost apart from regular compost or commercial fertilizers is how biologically active it is. Worm digestion makes nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium more readily available for plants to absorb. The castings are also loaded with beneficial microbes that boost soil health and protect roots from disease. Even better, worm compost contains natural growth hormones that stimulate strong root and leaf development. The result is soil that holds water better, drains freely, and supports vibrant plant life. Gardeners consistently report healthier seedlings, bigger harvests, and more resilient plants after switching to vermicompost. Unlike synthetic fertilizers, this soil amendment is completely natural, renewable, and free, produced right in your home. There's something deeply satisfying about seeing yesterday's banana peel transformed into today's juicy tomato harvest. Every kitchen scrap you feed your worms is one less piece of waste heading to the landfill, where food waste produces harmful methane gas. With a worm bin, you're not just creating fertilizer, you're closing a natural loop, turning waste into life. Starting a worm bin doesn't require expensive equipment or much space. A small container tucked under the sink in the garage or on a balcony can provide a continuous supply of black gold for years. Once you've seen the difference vermicompost makes in your soil and plants, it's hard to go back. The kitchen scrap secret is simple yet powerful. What looks like garbage is actually tomorrow's garden treasure. Worms are ready to take your everyday leftovers and turn them into the richest fertilizer money can't buy. For the price of a small bin and a starter batch of worms, you'll unlock a renewable system that fuels your garden for life. So the next time you're about to toss out a peel or coffee ground, pause and think of the gold waiting to be made. Your worms will thank you, your soil will flourish, and your plants will reward you with abundance. If this guide has inspired you, don't forget to subscribe to Timeless Crops Haven and share this with fellow gardeners. Together, let's keep turning scraps into gold.